Freedom fighters, all. According to Merriam-Webster, freedom fighter is a person who takes part in a resistance movement against an oppressive political or social establishment. Most people can't remember learning how to read, or how, as a toddler, language first danced down the joyful red runway of our tongue. Still, we are able to bear witness. All we have to do is share the company of any 2-year-old. Watch as they resist the confines created when you want so badly to express the most passionate thing on your heart, and you simply can't find the words. And then it happens. Electricity fires from the synapses, sending signal to their quivering lips, releasing a breath on which floats a word. A single shimmering syllabic building block making its way, no, fighting its way towards freedom. And that's it. One of the simple truths of our existence, that our desire to communicate effectively can be directly tied to our desire to be free. And not a bumper sticker entitled to do whatever I want in spite of how it affects others around me type of free. Rather a do whatever it takes to sustain my family, support my community, carve out some semblance of happiness. I'm not free until we're all free type of free. And that last part is most important, until we are all free. Free to support our families, free to embrace the same opportunities as everyone else, free to pursue education at whatever age the opportunity arises, free to seek refuge away from persecution, war, and famine, and not to be ostracized for it, but rather welcomed. Humanity recognized upon landfall. The only question asked before extending a hand up is, how may we be of service? An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Martin Luther King Jr., freedom fighter. What do you think is up there, beyond the narrow confines of our individualistic interest, if not freedom? And the only thing more sacred than freedom itself is living a life dedicated to the freedom of others, in which case there can be no greater freedom fighter than the educator. From grandmothers to griots, from Sesame Street to night school, from mosque to middle school, freedom fighters all. And it takes a particular kind of human to take up arms against the oppression of ignorance, to offer compassion through knowledge to populations often relegated to the scorn of the masses and the exploitation of the so-called powerful. Each lesson offered creates another shimmering building block, adding to a shared stairway, reaching to a freer tomorrow. For when any member of our society takes a step up, we all rise. Think back to the moment you decided to dedicate your life to the education of others. I imagine all freedom fighters have a similar instance in which they saw in the eyes of a student the electricity springing from one synapse to the other, forming a connection, birthing a sacred revelation, a single breath traveling through quivering lips, expressing some form of, I didn't know I could do that. That's freedom. And to those of you who have dedicated your life to the recreation of such moments, know that your work is sacred. Your spirit is the invaluable currency that sustains our world. You are freedom fighters, all.